So the Hellfire Caves has a mausoleum above it, which is this bit, and this was used for a Hammer horror film starring Christopher Lee, who's one of my heroes. Anyway, the mausoleum is directly above it. The caves are underneath. There's also a Catholic church next to it, which is rather strange considering this is supposedly a satanic location. I don't believe it is at all. It's all just ridiculous, and it was all just an excuse for posh men to be debauched. And so sorry, what I wanted to say was I found it interesting that during the spirit box outside, now this was before I knew the names of all the people linked to it, and I got the name Paul. I found out afterwards that this man Paul Whitehead was linked, and you can see on the spirit box that we get the name Paul, and we also get the name, and we also get the word white. So sometimes they will try and say something but not quite get the whole word. So he almost gives his name. We've got Paul White. Excuse that lorry out there. So we've got Paul White. Head was his name, so Paul White. Close enough. And we've got the word heat in the spirit box as well, so that could have been trying to say head. The word head's not in the spirit box, so it's took the closest word, which is heat. But I'm not going to add the heat to this video. I'm just going to add Paul and White. So that's very, very close. And that was outside. And I can't remember if it's him. Let me look it up. Somebody had their heart put inside that mausoleum. Then it was stolen. Let me just see. I'm sure it was his heart. Paul Whitehead. Paul Whitehead. No, totally wrong. Paul Whitehead's come up. Let me try something else. So in the middle of that mausoleum there, it is usually locked off now, is an urn. And apparently it was him, because there's a statue of him inside with an urn at his feet, I'm sure. Just let me double check. And apparently he asked for his heart to be kept there. The mystery of Paul. Wait a minute. Paul Whitehead still haunts the caves. He's been seen on many occasions. Sorry, didn't mean for this to be so long. So I have got photos somewhere of his statue. You know, when I went in there. It's the least spooky place ever, by the way. We loved it. It was very peaceful. Apart from, I have to say, by the River Styx. I didn't like that bit. The Dashwood Mausoleum. The Dashwood Mausoleum is located right next to the St. Lawrence's Church on top of West Wickham Hill. The mausoleum is one of the most famous landmarks in Britain. It's a large enclosed private burial ground for the Dashwood family, but also for special brothers from their little cult. For instance, Paul Whitehead's heart was buried in a special urn here. And this website says, I say was, because it was stolen by an Australian soldier in 1829. The rest of his remains are buried at St Mary's Church in Teddington, along with his wife Anne. Okay, so how amazing is that? And I didn't know this at the time when we were there, that Paul Whitehead's heart was buried in the urn inside this bit here, and I'm standing outside and I get the name Paul and I get the word White, which is half of his surname. So how bizarre is that? Anyway, I'm going to add on to the end of this some screenshots, but do Google it. It's a very fascinating location. And there is also a Hellfire Caves in Dublin, Ireland, and you can visit both of them, I do believe. But do not make the mistake we did, and we tried to climb up to the mausoleum, and this was just before my legs went, and it was an absolute nightmare. It's quite a climb if you're not good with walking. Well, no, actually, we didn't try to climb up to the mausoleum. We thought you went into the caves up through the mausoleum, but you don't. There's actually a ground level entrance, so we made a massive mistake. Anyway, it was a good day out and not at all spooky. Very, very peaceful, especially the inner temple where I did get some EVPs. You can check out those videos in my Hellfire Club playlist. Right, so I'll stop waffling.